Hey everyone, I'm Kim, the mom boss behind EmeryandK. Welcome to Back to Basics Bootcamp Tumbler Edition, where myself and two other amazing artists will be sharing weekly videos with all the best tips, tricks, and tumbler making secrets. Let's get to it. All right, let's get started. Week 2, episode 5. Today I'm going to be going over how to create an offset in Cricut Design Space, how to layer your decal. Then we'll also be talking about sanding the rims and cleaning up any paint or epoxy that you've gotten inside of your tumbler. All right, let's get started with our offset. So the first thing you're going to want to do is upload your image into Cricut Design Space or find one from the available images they have. This one came from the images I just searched for, like a quote. And then I'm going to go ahead and size it. So this is going to go vertically on a 30-ounce tumbler. It's just going to go up like the top third. So I did 4.75 by 2 inches. I'm going to remove that heart because I don't want it. And then I'm going to highlight the entire decal and I'm going to attach it. That's at the bottom right there. Then with my entire decal still highlighted, I'm going to go up to that top toolbar and I'm going to hit offset. It kind of looks like a little circle in a flower. And then you're going to choose your size. So typically for me, I create my offset 0.05 or 0.03. This one I chose 0.05. 0.03 I'll usually do for like a more delicate script font. After that, I like to change the color of my offset to white, and I like to put my top text back over just to make sure everything looks good, that Cricut Design Space didn't do anything funky and weird. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit make it. Then you'll go ahead and cut your decal, and I will see you while we apply. Before we get into layering our decal, I want to show you guys why it's important to offset your decal. So I've cut an extra top text out of the same exact colored vinyl as I'll be using in my vinyl decal, just to show you guys kind of the difference. So I'm going to put my transfer tape on there, and then I like to put my tumbler on a towel when I apply my decal, just so that it keeps it from rolling. On this particular one, I'm going to be putting my decal vertically down the seam. If I were putting it horizontal, I'm just showing you guys here, I would place it, I would use my ruler to measure it so that it gets on nice and straight. With vertical ones, I just eyeball it because I think that's easier. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to have this decal not layered. So you can see already as I'm putting it on, I'm just throwing it on here too. It's not straight, just ignore that. But you can see already that you can read it, but it's not super easy. I mean, I know what this decal says, but other people obviously don't, and it's not easy to read. So I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to show you the difference of how it looks when we offset decal now. So once again, I'm putting this one right down the seam on this tumbler, and I'm getting rid of that silicone mat because it's just kind of making it harder to get my transfer tape on. Just ignore my table. My kids like to craft, and this is real life here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my transfer tape onto my vinyl decal. This vinyl that I cut my text out of is called Piggy Pink. It's from Tech Rep. I will make sure to link it down below. It's like this super silky smooth matte pink vinyl. It's beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my tumbler. I like to kind of hold it away so that I can make sure it gets on there nice and straight. I push down in the middle and then push up on the top and on the bottom. Then I'm going to carefully remove my transfer tape. I kind of like to almost like push it down on my tumbler and pull it back as we go. I do reuse my transfer tape. Some people don't, but I'm not about wasting money, so I'm going to reuse it. And so now for the layering. So the top text I cut out of, this is Sweet Pink from Tech Rep. It's a really beautiful, again, like a silky matte vinyl. It's really, really nice. I love working with it. It's the first time I've used it, and I'm obsessed. So anyhow, when I layer my decals, I like to do it one word at a time. And I do this for a few reasons. It gives me more control, and I can also make sure that my layering is going to be perfect the first time. I'm not like guessing and getting like the bottom of the decal straight and then the top's crooked. Sorry about my melon, but it's always hard to see to layer vinyl with a camera and a giant light in your face. So this is how I prefer to layer my vinyl. I never have to peel it off because my layering is always perfect the first time, which we want to avoid all the extra work. So if you have issues layering your vinyl and it's something that you dislike, I really encourage you to try this method because I was a layer hater at first, and now I actually really like it. I would say like 98% of my text decals get layered because they just look better. I think they look a little bit more sophisticated, and as you can see, it's so much easier to read. All right, let's talk about the rim. I prefer to use a Dremel, so this is just an electric sander. I can't tell you anything about this one specifically because I stole it from my husband, but I will make sure to find a good one and link it down below because these things are lifesavers. So I typically use mine on the speed between like 6 and 8. I'm not super picky about it. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go around that very sharp kind of edge on the top rim of our tumbler. And I'm just using the very top of this little Dremel sanding piece here. And as you can see, I'm just taking off any little bits of vinyl that are hanging over the edge, any pieces of glitter that might have been hanging over the edge. And this just helps to break the epoxy on our tumbler away from any that's inside of our rim, so when we clean that up later, we're not accidentally peeling the epoxy on our tumbler. Now we're going to go around one more time, and I'm going to go, you can see I have an indent in this little sander because I've done this so much, but this one goes down a little bit deeper onto my tumbler. I kind of hold it at an angle, and this exposes just a thin line of stainless steel, and that's just so my final 2 coats of epoxy have really good sanded stainless steel to grip to, not the very top of my rim. It just makes the seal on your tumbler better. Now I'm going to go around with a Scotty peeler. I got mine from the glitter guy. I'll be sure to link that down below as well. And I'm just peeling off any extra pieces of epoxy that are on the very top of the rim or any little like blobs of epoxy that got on the inside of my tumbler. Now typically this part I would do upstairs. This would be the very last thing I do before I wash it with Dawn dish soap and I get it cleaned up and ready to ship. But I didn't want to lug my filming stuff back upstairs. I was being lazy, so I'm just showing you in the basement, but it's fine. So I'm just going to take a little piece of magic eraser and some acetone that I got from Walmart, and I just do a little bit on my magic eraser and I just rub that around the inside of my rim to take off that spray paint. This is the fastest, easiest way I have found to remove spray paint from the inside of my tumbler. For everything packaging and shipping, Pale Bird Designs will be putting up a video on Friday. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all the bootcamp videos we have coming your way. Until next time, happy crafting.